Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Miguel and Sam switched places during the events of Cobra Kai Season 4? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 4 would still happen. Daniel and Johnny would still team up, and they would still teach their students a combination of offense and defense. Those events would stay the same. Kenny would still go to Robbie in this timeline, and he would still join Cobra Kai. Chris would still get Terry Silver, and those events would carry on. Daniel and Miguel would continue their training, and he would start to learn defense, and they would start to form a bond. Johnny would train with Sam, and Sam would like Johnny's way of training, and they would also start to form a bond. Johnny would start to notice a bond between Daniel and Miguel, and Daniel would notice a bond between Johnny and Sam, and they would both start to get jealous. The events of Season 4 would continue. The Cobra Kais would still get their revenge on Hawk, so Hawk would still revert back to Eli. Daniel and Johnny would still fight, and they would still decide to go their separate ways, but Sam and Miguel would want to stay in their opposite dojo. Sam would say that she needed to learn offense in order to beat Cobra Kai, and Miguel would say that he needed to learn defense since he already knew offense. So Sam would decide to stay in Eagle Fang, and Miguel would decide to stay in Miyagi-Do, and Daniel and Johnny would be heartbroken. The events of Season 4 would continue. Things would be awkward at the LaRusso house. Daniel would want to convince Sam to come back to Miyagi-Do, but Sam would say that offense was the only way to beat Cobra Kai. So Daniel would confront Johnny. He would be mad for taking Sam away from him, but Johnny would remind Daniel that this was how he felt when he trained Robbie, and now he knows how it feels. Those events would carry on. Johnny would want to convince Miguel to come back to Eagle Fang, but Miguel would thank Johnny for everything that he taught him. He would say that he needed to learn defense in order to find balance. The All Valley Committee would still decide to make separate boys and girls divisions. Since Sam was already in Eagle Fang, Johnny wouldn't look for any more female students, so Devin wouldn't join in this timeline. So Johnny would want to focus on getting his male champion. So Johnny would go talk to Eli, but Eli still wouldn't want anything to do with karate. So Johnny would have no luck finding a male champion. Daniel would want to find another female student, and he would want to focus his time on Miguel. Eventually Dimitri would convince Eli to come back to Miyagi-Do. Daniel and Miguel would be happy to see him, so Eli would join Miyagi-Do in this timeline, and he would start to learn defense with Miguel. Johnny and Sam would continue their training, and Sam would start to be more aggressive. The prom night would still happen in this timeline, and Sam will still attack Tori. She would be fighting using offense. Miguel would still want to defend Sam, and he would use defense. He would want to use the wheel technique to fight Robbie and Tori, but Sam wouldn't want to use it. So Robbie and Tori would still defeat Miguel and Sam, and those events would stay the same. In this timeline, Miguel wouldn't go to Johnny. Season 4 would continue. The night of the All Valley, Eagle Fang, Miyagi-Do, and Cobra Kai would compete, and Sam and Miguel would start winning their matches, and they would still make it to the qualifier rounds. Eli and Miguel would still fight, but Miguel would still be injured, so Daniel and Johnny would go see Miguel, and they would want to convince him to keep fighting. Johnny would tell Miguel that he was proud of him, even though that he was fighting for LaRusso, and he would tell Miguel to remember what he learned and to use offense. So Miguel would listen to Johnny, and he would decide to continue to fight. So Miguel and Eli would continue their fight, but this time Miguel would use a combination of offense and defense, and he would defeat Eli. So Miguel would advance to the finals. Daniel would be a little mad that Miguel used offense, but Miguel would say that in order to beat Cobra Kai, they needed to use the best of both styles. Daniel would have no choice but to agree, so Daniel and Johnny would team up a lot earlier to coach Miguel in this timeline. So Miguel would fight Robbie, and he would use a combination of offense and defense. It would be a close match, but Miguel would defeat Robbie in this timeline, and he would be the boys' All Valley champion. The girls' match would continue. Daniel and Johnny would agree that Sam needed to use a combination of offense and defense, so Sam would fight Tori. Sam would use a combination of offense and defense, and since Sam's offense was better in this timeline, she would defeat Tori, so Sam would be the girls' All Valley champion. But even though they won, Cobra Kai would have more points, since Eagle Fang didn't have a male champion, and Miyagi-Do didn't have a female champion, so Cobra Kai would win overall. The season would end in a very similar way. Robbie would still go to Johnny in this timeline, but Miguel wouldn't run away. Terry Silver would still betray Kreese, but in this timeline, Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do wouldn't shut down. and Daniel and Johnny would team up again. And that is where I'm going to end this what if. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Miguel and Sam switched places during the events of Cobra Kai Season 4? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.